I'll start out here in regards to injuries. Same as last night, Jakeem Grant is in the concussion protocol, and that's all that we have there on the injury front. Duke Shelley will be returning today from the COVID protocol, so that's good news. And then no other updates in regards to anybody else with COVID via coaches or players. Watching the tape on the game, number one, what stands out is the defense, the swarming and the flying around. I thought I was really happy with. When you watch it on tape, you just feel it from the very first play to the very last play. And so I really appreciated that. I thought guys had opportunities yesterday to step up. I thought Thomas Graham had a great game. Obviously, the rest of the guys on defense, I mean, you look across the board, they really, I mean, that's a good offense. And for them to be able to come out like they did and give us an opportunity to win, nothing changed from what I felt on the sideline and from what I saw on tape. Matter of fact, it was better on tape. So that's that. Special teams, we had the block punt, which I thought was good. We also had the block field goal, which wasn't good. We had the muffed punt return. So there's some stuff going on there that we obviously got to get better at and cleaned up, because those are big parts of the game. Not being able to score from the blocked punt, partially blocked punt, was one of the frustrating parts, and just like I said yesterday, you look at it and you see offensively, we're moving the ball, we're getting yards, we're making plays at certain times of the game, but just too many third and longs. I think we had between 3rd and 17 to 24, we had 4 of them. And that's hard. We ended up having no 3rd and 11 to 14s, and we were 0 for 1 on 3rd and 7 to 10. Our last 3rd down conversion was in the second quarter. So, that's where we knew going into this we had to be better, and we weren't. 4th down, we had the 2 conversions, but really you look at that and those are game-changing plays and moments, but just penalties and turnovers really hurt us in the end. It started with the first play of the game. We get a 10-yard run and we have a penalty the first play. Then we have a 3rd and 1 and we get a penalty, so just the penalties were can get you at the wrong time, and it happened to us yesterday. So that's where going through this offense and stating the obvious, scoring 3 points the majority of the game will never win you a football game. It just doesn't happen. So we got to understand where that's at and accept it and do everything we can to fix it. So I'll go ahead and open it up to questions.
First question, Dan Reeder.
Matt, I had 2 for you out of the gates. The first one, Justin expressed last night kind of his desire to do a little bit more up-tempo and no huddle, and said that gets him in a rhythm and gets him thinking less. I'm curious, in your communication with him, how you explain to him why that can't be done on a more regular basis for him.
No, I think it really can be done. I think it's good stuff. You see where you get a defense on their heels, and that's some stuff that he's done obviously in college, and I think for a lot of these college quarterbacks right now, this all kind of stems from the high school. It goes to college, and then the college trickles into the NFL with some of the stuff they do. And I for sure think that you could see yesterday at certain times in the game that the tempo helps. I don't think you can't necessarily live in it every play for certain reasons, but we can definitely do more of it. And I think I think our players would agree with that. I think our coaches would, and you feel that. And at the same point in time, we were moving the ball too, without going no huddle. So I think that probably more than anything yesterday, I would say that 5 possessions in the red zone is where we got to be better.
And then there was a 3rd down late in the first half it was Fields to Montgomery. And Justin said that it was just the timing was a little bit off because David didn't necessarily run the route as fast as he's used to receivers running. I was curious what your diagnosis of that was and how that can get cleaned up there. It was along your sideline.
Yeah. No, that's a play where, we got guys running similar routes, and I just think that that's one that we missed on. He was open, but that's a timing deal, right? That's a part of what he said. That's more reps together of those guys being able to get that. David's run that route for several years here in this offense. So, that's a part of the game. And I think it'll be good for the guys to be able to put on the tape and look at it and see and be able to grow from it.
So who in your opinion in that needed to do something a little sharper there? Is that David's route or is that Justin getting it out?
I thought that, they were both fine. Really, David ran his route with the right steps. His depth was right. His steps were right. Justin made the right decision going there. His footwork was good. We just didn't connect on it, and sometimes that's how it goes. It probably gets a little bit more magnified when you score 3 points than it would in other scenarios. But that's something that those two guys, I promise you, the next time, it's not going to be something they shy away from. They'll be out here practicing that route and other routes just because they both care immensely.
Next question, Pat Finley.
Hey, Matt, I'll give you 2 as well, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
On the first sack at the 2-minute warning, with the screen pass called there, what is the lesson for Justin? Is it to throw it at his feet? It seemed like he got caught in between. He jumped, landed, got hit, the ball came out.
Yeah, that would be the lesson there is, we always talk about it's a dart or free throw. So what that means is when you get back, it's a rocker step. So you set it up, and now you're going to let the defensive end come get you, right? We want to have the defensive end rush you, and then it's the quarterback's job to throw a dart or free throw. A dart meaning you got to laser it to him. A free throw meaning it's over the top. And what happened was he kind of jumped a little bit, like you said, and he got caught trying to make the throw. And he made a good decision of, in his eyes, he felt like it was going to get tipped. And so he pulled it back down. The problem is he got caught in midair and he wasn't able to dirt it. So that was that.
And Justin, after the game, said that when he was at Ohio State, when there was a pre-snap penalty in practice, somebody had to run a lap. And he said, maybe we need to do something like that here. At the pro level, what can you do to reinforce discipline Wednesday through Friday so it shows up on a Sunday?
No, that's we've been doing that since the start of training camp, and these guys implemented a deal where and the guys pull each other out, and if there's a false start or if there's something in practice where that's the case, those guys hold each other accountable. And I think what happens sometimes is as the year goes on or as the season goes on, you end up if, like, for instance, if there's a lineman that jumps off sides, there's false start, he'll go ahead and he'll either finish that quick rep, come out the next rep, do a couple push-ups and go back in. And it's just the mentality and the reminder of you can't do that. And the players do a good job of holding each other with that. I think what the persistence of doing that is important. And especially right now with when you see the penalties that we've had at inopportune times, that's where, you really got to lock in. You have to lock in, and there's a focus there. And so that's probably what and I agree with, that's what I love about Justin is, like, there's an accountability there from a player's perspective.
Next question, Alex Shapiro.
Hey, Matt, I've also got 2, if you could. First is, personally, how did it feel calling plays again after handing that off to Bill? And then was there anything you learned? Do you have any different philosophy or approach to play calling after taking some time away?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, when you step away from it, like I did, it certainly gives you that idea of the head coaching part of it where, all 3 phases, you're more involved with that, with the different phases. But getting back to calling again, like no matter who you are or how it goes when you're calling, you want to be able to get in a rhythm. As a play caller, if you can get into a rhythm and get some first downs and stay away from the negative yards, whether it's a penalty or a sack, et cetera, it becomes fairly easy and fun. When you start going backwards and you get into 3rd and longs or you get into the red zone and it's a little bit more of a struggle, it's more challenging. And I think that's where, like yesterday, it was, to be able to get back out there and I thought the communication of Flip getting it in to him, like, there was no issues with that. I thought Justin handled that well. I thought Flip did a great job. We just, in the end, coaches and players, we just got to be way better with staying away from negative plays and then being better in the red zone. We got to score more points.
Next question, Jason Leisure.
Matt, this is not the foremost issue, but it's something I'm interested in. With Akeem Hicks, it was a very emotional night for him last night. Seemed like he was, in a way, kind of saying goodbye to Chicago in case he's not back. Some of his post-game comments. What has he meant to you personally as a coach to come in and have somebody like that in your locker room from day one?
Yeah, well, you saw the game that he had yesterday. You could feel it, and you know that opposing defenses are always completely aware of where he's at. There's impact plays in there, and when you're out there making those plays, you're helping out the second level, you're helping out the third level, and so he's done that his entire time here in Chicago, and we appreciate that, we know that, and I think you felt that last night.
You talked yesterday about guys not quitting and how proud you were to see guys keep fighting. I think Akeem Hicks playing through multiple different points in the season must embody that. For sure.
For like these guys stepping in, in all. I mean, obviously there was a lot more on defense, whether it was a former starter or a starter like Hicks, or it's a young guy that's never started before. What it can do is it can certainly give a lot of confidence to players for the rest of their career. Like that one game right there, albeit a tough one offensively, defensively, those guys really, you could see some young guys really step up, and it just gives you a great confidence that they may have never had going into it. And so you just appreciate that fight from the players. And that's why it's so hard when these guys are laying it on the line every single day in these games. I mean, you see it, you feel it, and that's probably why it gets emotional on game day. Is it's hard to explain. You guys, you're in the stadium, you can feel it from the stadium view and from the seats and the stands, but it's even at another level on the sideline. And these guys are pouring their heart, their blood, sweat, and tears out there, and to do everything we can to win. And it becomes long and hard when you're not winning. So for those guys to be able to fight through that, that's what I appreciate as a coach. And I just think it speaks to who they are as high character guys.
Next question, Kevin Fishbane.
Hey, Matt, with Tevin, obviously you can't have the penalties, but I'm curious how he graded out in pass pro and what you kind of saw from him progress-wise from his debut last week.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job in pass pro. I think he's continuing to grow. The penalties are hurting right now. The hold at the first play of the game, and then the false start on 3rd and 1, are two impact plays. So we got to reduce those and limit those. And he will. He cares a lot. So, but technique wise, fundamentally, I think his confidence is another young guy that's going to continue to just keep getting better and better with the more time he plays.
Next question, Mark Potash.
Hey, Matt, obviously this is a difficult situation for you, being out of the playoffs is your first losing season. What do you lament most about the downturn this season? Is there anything a key point where you say, I wish I had done this, or I wish I had done that? What do you lament most about the way things have gone this year?
No, I'll be able to do that at the end of the year and reflect back to, things that you would do the same or things that you would do differently. I think that's your job as a head coach. For me, every year I always do that and get to see in different areas as a leader, offensively, we obviously aren't doing good enough there. And I get that, but that's the part that keeps you going. You learn from that stuff. You go through experiences and you figure out, why that happened and how you can improve and use it for yourself and your team moving forward. So every year you do that. And I think that's, I can't say right now specifically a specific game. I remember the highs. I know that. I think back to that Vegas game, and I always think back to in Vegas when we played 3 phases of good football and what that felt like in that locker room. And there's been different storylines for each game. It's been I definitely did not think it was going to be a more unique year than it was last year, but it is. And so being able to work through that with the guys in the end, the only thing that when you're losing like this, the one thing you want to do is continue to fight to win, but also see other guys fighting, and they are, from me to them, I appreciate that.
Two more. Next question, Colleen Kane.
Hey, Matt, you mentioned Thomas Graham when you started this. What did you like about his game, and did he earn himself more playing time down the stretch here?
He was aggressive, Colleen. He did a great job of stepping up to the moment. I thought his tackling was really good. He was able to stick his nose in there and make some good tackles. Made a hell of a play there in the red zone, undercutting that post. Made a great play down the sideline on the sideline fade. I thought he really stuck out. I mean, he's a guy that he's had success in college, and then coming here and getting an opportunity against some good wide receivers and a good offense. That's only going to make him better. So I just think it's great for him. You root for those type of stories, and he certainly has helped himself out with being able to play more.
Last question, Pat Finley.
Matt, you just said that that this year is more unique than last season. In what ways?
Well, just all the expect the unexpected. I mean, you look at just, I guess probably when I say that, it's more so of the you get into everything that's going on with just the last several weeks of the COVID protocol, and you kind of go into it thinking, okay, you get the vaccination, and now you're going to be good to go as a team, and there's less distractions and all that. And there's just been more of that every team's dealing with. I mean, we see it across the league, and that's a part of what every team is going through right now. So that's probably, I thought last year was really different for a lot of different reasons, with going through COVID, with no fans in the stands, just everything you go through there, like teaching and installing plays with people that you can only see their eyes because they're wearing masks and hats, and that's difficult. And so you come into this year, and it ends up having its own unique parts of it. And so that's probably what I was getting to there. But, it's different right now, but there's a lot of things that everyone is working through, everybody included in life, so you just got to be able to juggle all that, handle it the right way, and keep fighting.